Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to be upgrading the fuel system on our Cat engine in the sled pulling truck. We've got a kit here from Pure Flow Technologies. They make a kit that gives you a bigger fuel line for the fuel pump on here. I don't really know just too much about it, but I was referred to you need to put this on your truck if you're going to be doing any performance stuff. Basically, the Cat fuel system is just really restrictive. We're going to make it less restrictive. Being that I have a 40-pin ECM, the fuel flows through that, and this changes some of that stuff. Very, very soon we're going to be going to a 70-pin, but for now, we're going to make do with what we've got. And I already got this kit before I decided to go to 70 pins, so we're going to be installing it. The first thing it says to do is remove the fuel filter in the hand primer pump, which is over here. So we're going to be removing that. Maybe someone that's familiar with Caterpillar stuff can comment on here and tell me exactly what all this really does, and I will pin your comment. But we're going to follow these instructions and get this stuff installed. We don't really need a primer because we've got a fast fuel system on the truck. Boys, oh, there we go. Thing is on there strong, son. No. All right, hand primer off. So that I can see how that's really restrictive because all the fuel has to flow through this thing, and that's coming off now. We need to get that fuel filter off first, so let's get that off next. That's what it says in instructions, at least. All right, so I'm gonna carefully remove this fuel filter because we're not in a position right now to replace it. We will before we go out and do any kind of competition stuff. But for now, we'll try to get it broke loose. Looks like it's been on there a while too, judging by the paint on it and the engine paint. So probably won't hurt to replace it, but for now, we'll get it off there. And the reason we're pulling it off is we have to drill and port this fuel filter housing out. So put that loose, get it off. All right, next it says to take a drill bit and hog out the hole that goes from the fuel filter through here. And you can see daylight, not this side right here, but this side. So we're gonna carefully, if I had a good battery, I guess. We just don't wanna go all the way through. It looks like we're drilled all the way through where it needs to. So that hole's bigger. We'll find some brake clean right quick. I guess we can put that up. Don't want to get anything in that hole right there, so we'll get this cleaned out the best we can. All right. Per the instructions, we're going to take this new ported cap. You can see where they've drilled it out in there also, and install it on here. There's only one way it will go because one bolt is 1/4 inch and one is 5/16. So we'll get this thing snugged down and move on to the next step. Up next, we're going to replace some fittings up here on the front of the engine, and what this is going to do is give the fuel pump that we're sucking fuel a much larger fitting right there, and you'll see when we take the old one off the differences. So see the difference there on the fitting we pulled out of the pump compared to the fitting we're putting in there is that difference. And in the instructions it says it creates a vacuum in the pump which causes restriction. So we're going to do away with that and install these fittings that are supplied with the kit. So if you guys remember, we put this new fuel pump on here, we stretched the spring a little bit, but in this kit comes with shims for the fuel pump, and before the spring sat down inside the cap here, and these shims sit on top of it and then go like this. So we have a 0.125 and a 0.25 shim. I'm going to start off with a 0.125 since I don't have a fuel pressure gauge right now. We'll keep that other shim in the door with us so that when I do have access to a fuel pressure gauge, we can check fuel pressure and make sure where it needs to be, around 120, 118 PSI. So I'm going to reinstall this shim and everything right here in the bottom of the fuel pump. It's kind of hard to see, but if you buy the kit, you'll be able to see it pretty easily with the instructions. So see if I can do this without dropping or losing any parts here. All right, after we put that shim in there and upgraded the parts that supply this fuel pump, we're upgrading the line that goes from the fuel pump to this distribution block here, which is, as you can see, pretty small on the inside of there. And I'm going to show you the line we're going to be replacing this with. It's much larger and much newer at the end of the day too. So here's the fittings you see we taken off here. And there's the fittings we're replacing them with. Much bigger. It's going to flow a lot more fuel going from that fuel pump to the distribution block. Got some hose here we're going to have to cut to length. So I think I've got some other stuff laying around here. We may make that hose, a copy of it before we go cutting on that hose, because we only have what you see there to make work. So I kind of got ahead of myself. Apparently we don't run that fuel line from the fuel pump to this distribution block. We run it straight to the fuel filter housing. So yeah, this is just going to kind of act as a return port and a fuel pressure test port, I guess, because I think right there's a spot to test fuel pressure right there. So we're going to plug those lines off. We gotta get the steel line off of here, and it's just twisting. It's probably just gonna break, so it'll be what it'll be. Oh, there it goes. So I cut and made our fuel line that goes from the front of the fuel pump up here to the fuel filter housing. You see where it connects right there. And it actually, I hooked this fuel line back up just to run some air through it and confirm that in the manual, it recommends that we cap these off, and we will before we get going anything crazy. Napa closes at 1 o'clock here in Crossville, in case anyone's wondering. Back home it closes at 7 o'clock every day but Sunday, so food for thought. But basically the fuel doesn't flow through this block anymore. Fuel fitting on the bottom and top just goes right to the fuel filter housing, and then out of the fuel filter housing into the ECM, I think. I probably don't know what I'm talking about.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it goes through out of the fuel filter housing into the ECM, then out of the ECM into the head, and then comes out of the head up here on this line, goes into this block, and then returns back to the tank. So I think it wants us to upgrade the line from here on the fuel filter housing to the ECM, I think. I don't know, we'll read the instructions and figure it out. So I skipped around and didn't film every little thing we've done, but I can really just explain everything. If you pay close attention, you'll understand everything we did without the hassle of watching me tighten all these little fittings. So we'll start at the very beginning where we started. We came up here to the front of this fuel pump, changed the elbow here to higher flow fittings here, also on this side over here on the front where it comes out for the pressure side. We put a shim inside that fuel pump to up the pressure. We deleted the line where it comes into this block out of the fuel pump. So it usually would flow to the bottom, come out here. And we had the steel line that connected right here. Did away with that. So now the fuel line comes out of the pump and goes directly to the filter head right here with the bigger -8 lines, and comes out of the filter head right here. And where the fuel used to flow through the ECM, it still does, but now it tees off out of here and flows through the ECM out, and then it comes to the back of the head, and we'll show you there. So essentially you have -8 fuel, -10 line coming in as suction, -8 coming out of the fuel pump, going through the filter head, flowing through the filter, coming out of the filter, and flowing into the back of the head. We're still using the factory return line off the head, which is still like a -6. And then we've got this limiting valve right here, or you can see right there where it necks down to restrict the flow of fuel coming out of the head, which should also help hold good fuel pressure. But can maybe get in here, Ryan, and show them where this fuel line right here that comes out of the block here is a kind of an odd size, and it's not going to fit this fitting that came with the kit. So we're going to have to end up changing this fuel return line, which I kind of thought we were going to anyways, installing the new fast competition series pump we're going to be having, because that's going to change the amount of fuel pressure we have. It's going to change a lot. We're going to have to maybe shim or unshim the pump depending on fuel pressure we have going into the head. But this is all about building pressure up to that 118 PSI to 120, what we want, but also not going over it and holding that volume of fuel going through the head without dropping all through the RPMs. Because if you guys notice, that's like us sled pulling out the track, the truck's got plenty of fuel at low boost, but when it's in the boost, it cleans up. And that may be from low fuel pressure. We don't have a fuel pressure gauge on the truck yet, but we're gonna have one. Hopefully by next weekend we go sled pulling again in Putnam County, Florida. So, Ryan, see if you can show them the back of the head there. I'll walk over there. So, sorry for the interruption there, but this new fuel line -8 comes out of that fuel filter head and goes straight into the back of the head there. And then the line that originally supplied the head, this small -6, still has fuel flowing through the ECM. I think that's for like a fuel injection control module. I'm not sure because I don't know. But fuel still flows to the ECM and still sees the same pressure that the big line does, but the big line has more volume. So that's what you got going on there. Backside of the head there. Tank stuff we finished up in the last video. We've got our fuel lines hooked up. I kind of just ran all the factory ones and made them work for now. I ordered some AN fittings we're gonna have from Amazon. They'll be arriving up there at SH Tubes. We'll be up there on Tuesday, and we'll be getting those installed and running all the fuel lines properly. And then a week from now, we'll have our big competition series fast fuel system that's like insane dual pumps, all kinds of crazy stuff. And we'll probably have to change some stuff up again. But for now, that's how it's going to work until we get these AN fittings and we can run them through there with new hoses. And yeah, I mean, we'll revisit this. It's a one piece at a time, and it's costing me all the dimes. All right, so I turned the fast on and let the system bleed out. I don't think it's completely bled out yet, but we're gonna start it up, back it up, clean up our mess so I don't get in trouble, and get this thing backed out soon. Hopefully, we still have to put more oil in the transmission, but we're gonna do that at SH Tube in a couple days. We'll probably lost maybe a quart on the ground. It holds 2 gallons, so it has a fuel oil pump in that transmission. So we'll be okay to drive it on the trailer and then drain that oil out and put fresh oil in from the top when we do the shifter next week. Uh-oh, hopefully I did it right. Pissed off. Definitely has more umph at idle now.
Look at the mess you made.
Where? Up there?
Up there, there. Look at your hands.
Don't tell Brian. Well, we're gonna close the hood on this party. Pretty much done underneath the hood for our trip up here to my casual shop. We'll be opening up the hood hopefully and doing some stuff at SH Tube. We're gonna install our intercooler there. I thought we were gonna do it here, but I figured we'd wait to do it there since we're gonna be doing some bigger or some different style intercooler pipes. That boy's gonna be close to this grill.
Oh yeah.
We may have to readjust the hood hinges and cab, stuff like that. It's gonna be close. But for now, we'll get this thing cleaned up, get it loaded up. Tomorrow we'll clean the shop. Oh, there's something else I wanted to do tomorrow. Maybe we will install the intercooler. Maybe. We'll see. See you guys tomorrow.
Smoking the tires off. I didn't see the... scary for a minute.
Yeah. Like we just fixed this thing. Out here acting a fool, breaking stuff.
Let's make sure it moves.
Oh crap.
Here's a link right here.
We broke all kinds of stuff.
There's a link.
I know. God. See the other chain hanging? Look, it broke the hook off. Talk about a failed burnout right there. Maybe this thing is ain't made for doing. I mean, we do have 1,000 pounds of weight right there.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think we're going to go to like a different style suspension if we want to do more burnouts because that's how much force this thing has. Dang it. Now it's going to hold this tank up. We're going to go to 3/8 chain instead of this 5/16 stuff. Good Lord. Alright, let's hope it drives still.
Oh yeah, she still drives. Man, look at all that smoke.
Well, guys, it seems like nothing is broken.
Except chain.
Except chains. We can weld some of those up. Here I am acting stupid, gonna break something for our event next weekend. We are gonna build this thing, do some rowdy burnouts, which we had to figure out how to set the suspension up. Definitely gotta do like full lock and rears. You can see where it's thinning some tires, but open rear end, stuff like that. It looks cool. Blowing lots of smoke.
Oh yeah.
Lots of smoke.
Oh yeah. Dust to the whole street down there.
So in all the work we did putting those step boxes on there, you guys are probably wondering they look lower than what was on there, but they're actually about an inch higher than those rear panels that were on there. So I'm hoping we can be able to drive this thing straight on instead of having to back it on every time we load it up. So we're about to find that out. The fuel system, obviously, I think is making this thing run a lot stronger. We haven't checked fuel pressure yet. We're going to very soon. But what a difference. Now we sure having to do a burnout. I know we got to chain the axles up, but the issue is you got to chain them up and make them 100% level with each other, so it's putting the power to them evenly. So we just got to be careful because we don't really want to tear it up because we're going to go sled pull in a week. So, all right, let's see if it'll drive on now with no issues. nice to climb out and actually put your foot on a step without falling out of the truck. Probably should grab the keys. So we're gonna be parking it on the trailer down the road and lock it up. You guys will not believe what I just found. Ryan, you put it on the dash this whole time.
You got me.
You just wanted a new set of mics, didn't you?
It's just, you know,
Making me spend our quarterly budget. We found the missing mic.
Sweet.
So now we got a good brand new set. We have a full spare set, minus one magnet because I lost a magnet the other day. But I mean, Ryan lost a magnet. Boy, this thing looks so good with those step boxes on it. What do you guys think? Comment down below. It's all gonna come together, and we put some. I think we're gonna paint them black still, or powder coat the covers black right here. That the cab, whatever panels down here. Then right here, it's gonna go to a stainless. And wrap all the way around to the back there. It's gonna look good. It's coming together. Putting my touches on it. Now I need to figure out how to put my touches on it and make it do a burnout. It was so close coming up.
I didn't know what the heck happened. I thought you broke it.
I know.
I thought you were.
Should we do an instant replay?
Let's see that in an instant replay.
Yeah, so that did not look good. But what that was this axle pushing down so hard with them airbags wanting to just go that it busted the chains. You can see this bolt right here is loose now too. See that where I had the chain bolted? This is where the chain came loose. I just want to do a burnout so freaking bad. I think a semi doing burnouts is the coolest thing.
Oh yeah.
Especially with all the smoke.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We're gonna figure it out. But for now, we're getting this thing chained down, and we're gonna get ready to head up to SH Tube in Corbin, Kentucky. We'll put a shifter in it, some chrome panels, maybe a custom grill. That's where we'll put the business expense name on the front of the grill. That'd be the perfect spot. We've got some full set of trucks, lights coming for this thing. We're doing J bracket, double round headlights on the front of it. It's gonna look pimp. Switchback lights to blue. See, eventually we're gonna paint this thing blue one day, maybe. It's just gonna look freaking sick. So I'm pumped about that. Our aluminum air tank will be there on Tuesday. Some fuel lines will be up there on Tuesday. Lots of cool stuff coming. One day we'll get us some shift fenders put on here. We're on a good roll. Other than breaking chains and failing at doing burnouts. I think your Challenger still does a worse burnout than that.
No, I'll put it to the test. I'll show you. I'll show you what that thing can do.
All right, well, make sure you guys smash that like button. Drop a comment down below on how bad our burnout went, and subscribe. And if you haven't already, go to brucelesshop.com, grab some blue collar trucking hats, merchandise, and t-shirts, and Will It Start keychains, and maybe how to fail at doing a burnout shirts.
What?
Enough. I'm just talking. All right, I'll get this thing chained down. Peace.